Imagine this, it's a busy day in the classroom. There are 5 subjects to cover in only 7.5 hours. But then there's Johnny, the student that likes to act out in every occasion he can. Today's not the day, I say to myself, but I thought back to when I was in elementary school and I put myself in his shoes. I realized that I had those days too. When I was younger, today I will be talking about engaging troubled children in the classroom setting on a busy day. You might not be going into the education field like I am, but if your job or major requires you to work with children, you will need to know how to deal with troubled children. Knowing how to handle a troubled child in any setting will help you in the long run. After interning at the middle school I have been working at for 3 months now, I realized how some children work differently than others. I decided to research new ways to handle troubled children in the classroom. I will talk about some of the techniques I have researched on the topic, such as communication between the student and the teacher, handling troubled students, and always being aware of the disabilities. There are certain principles you have to follow when communicating with a student in the classroom. According to the article, Effective Communication with Kids in the Classroom, Julia Dietering states, teachers must successfully communicate lessons and curriculum while also understanding how individual children communicate in order to meet each other's needs. One important thing to remember is that you need to actively listen to the kids. Always look at them and ask them questions. Will help you break down what they are trying to communicate to you. Another important thing to do is to let the children complete their thought. If you do not let them complete their thought, they will continue to try to talk over you. Now that we have talked about communication with the children, let's talk about how we are supposed to handle the troubled children. In a classroom setting, you will always have that one kid that likes to act out. How you deal with this child will make you or break you as a teacher. As Melissa Kelly states in her article, How to Deal with a Class Clown, she demonstrates that while children sometimes say things that are humorous, their actions are causing other students to lose concentration and miss important information. Take the student into the hallway to talk to them instead of in front of the whole class. That just embarrasses them and will make them want to act out even more. You should also always respond to a child in a positive manner. While being hard on a child will help them learn, positive reinforcement will help them realize that you are trying to help them, not hate them. After you have dealt with the communication levels and the class clowns, it's time to talk about the children with disabilities. Children with disabilities can be sensitive when you try to communicate with them. Make sure when you communicate with them in place where there are no distractions. That way their entire attention can be on you. Ask them questions that do not have just a yes or no answer. That way you can get their full point of view. As Thurman State University discussed on their website, teaching students with disabilities are not looking for special treatment, just courtesy and basic understanding of their needs. All in all, make them feel like they are part of the class and not singled out. The more comfortable they are, the more often they will be to respond to you. Today I have talked about different techniques I have researched in troubled children in the classroom. The 3 topics that I have discussed are communication between the teacher and the student, handling troubled children in the classroom, and always being aware of a child's disabilities. Now that I have researched these topics and remembered that I too was like this as a child, I feel like it will be much easier to communicate with troubled children.